I came prepared, y'all. Hello, I hope you are doing well today. It doesn't quite feel like fall outside, but it does look like it. It's getting dark earlier, and we had a little bit of rain this afternoon, which sort of cooled things off, but I think tonight we're going to get a cold front and it's going to start to really feel like fall. And I'm super excited about it because fall is my favorite season, and I just get so inspired with artwork during this time, and I am so excited to be getting outside more, hiking more, being out in the trails and places that Bear and I love to go hiking, and it's finally cooling down for that. So what else is going on this week? Not a ton. It's the last week of September when I'm filming this, and I'm super excited because by the time you are watching this, Patreon will be launched, which is just, it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I didn't think I could pull it off. And after just doing some more planning and brainstorming of ideas of perks to give to you all for supporting me, I realized that it really wasn't out of my reach at all. And I'm excited to take this step. I'm hoping to expand it either by the end of the year or the first of the year to have an additional tier. But I'm going to start small. It's better to start with baby steps and not overwhelm myself and do well than to overextend myself and just feel all kinds of stress and pressure from it. But I brought these books to show you today because we need to talk about the Rings of Power again. This channel is not going to just be a Rings of Power hate channel, but because it's coming out and there's all kinds of issues with the show, I feel like I need to talk about some of the more important things and just make you aware of the resources that if you want to actually know what Tolkien wrote and why it was important, then I'll show you where to find it. So one of the things that I was most frustrated by, I don't usually yell at the television, but I did the other night. When I was watching the episode, I believe it was episode 6, and it's the scene where Tom Bombadil is talking to Gandalf, or who seems to be Gandalf, hasn't quite been revealed as Gandalf yet. He's speaking to him about the secret fire and about finding his staff and all this gobbledygook. And I was so angry because not only is Tom not represented the way he's supposed to be, I wasn't too surprised by that, but the writers of the show are completely reinventing the way the world metaphysically works and what the secret fire is and what role it plays in the show. Essentially, they're imagining the secret fire as just simply like the Force in Star Wars, and that's not at all what it is. It's actually far cooler than that and far more powerful than that. And the two best places to find out about the secret fire are the opening chapter of the Silmarillion. It's the creation story, the Ainulindala. And from there you learn that the secret fire, or the flame imperishable as it's called there, is essentially the spirit of Iluvatar giving life to the world. If you're familiar with the Christian story of creation, you have the Holy Spirit hovering over the void of the earth. The earth is formless and void, and the Holy Spirit's hovering over it, and is actively involved in creation. And it's very close to what Tolkien does in the Ainulindala. So the secret fire of Iluvatar it's a power that gets sent into the void of what Iluvatar and the rest of the Ainur are creating through the great music. And this secret fire is what kindles and brings the world basically to life. And in the Rings of Power, just saying that Gandalf needs to learn to channel the secret fire, that's like saying that there's basically this force like in Star Wars that can be manipulated and used in different ways, and that's not at all how this works. As the wielder of the secret fire, he mentions he is the wielder of the secret fire. The reason why Gandalf is that you can find in the Unfinished Tales. In the Unfinished Tales, there's a chapter on the Istari. The Istari are the wizards. Gandalf is one of them. And in that section of the Unfinished Tales, we learn about who Gandalf might be and where he came from and what it means for him to, be the wielder of the flame imperishable. Essentially, he was sent by Iluvatar in a very similar way to like biblical prophets. He was anointed with, like biblical prophets, they were anointed with the Spirit of God and they were sent to do, God's will, and given unique abilities to do certain things to accomplish whatever they were, tasked to do. And the Istari, the wizards, operate very much like that. They are given, particular gifts and, purposes to fulfill in Middle-earth, and all of them fail to fulfill their purpose except for Gandalf. And Gandalf, he was given the power to wield the secret fire, to wield that flame imperishable, because his goal was to rekindle the hearts of Middle-earth, to be awakened to the good and to the beautiful, and to be, wary of evil, and to reject Sauron and be, careful of his deceptions. And so Gandalf is literally supposed to be the opposite of Sauron. He's supposed to be bringing that flame imperishable of Iluvatar to Middle-earth, and bringing, new life and new fervor to, be faithful to everything that made Middle-earth beautiful and good. And so in the Rings of Power episode, when they reduce it to just simply this force ghost that you've got to learn how to, this unwieldy force that has to be tamed, and you have to figure out how to channel it and listen to the secret fire to, guide you to the right staff. I'm quoting the episode. If you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just ridiculous. It goes back to what I said in my previous episode. It's stripping the world of Middle-earth of anything transcendent. Everything is just simply on that two-dimensional plane. There's nothing awesome. There's nothing other. There's nothing that is supernatural in the world of the Rings of Power. And why does that matter? Well, it matters to those of us who actually care about what Tolkien wrote and appreciate his literary genius and what he was able to do as far as the complexity of his world building. And I get so frustrated when artists' work is just made a mockery of, when it's misunderstood and made a mockery of in a way that diminishes it into something that it never was. And so if you're like me and you care about these kinds of things, if you care about your own creativity and you care about your own entities, things that you create, whether it be stories or art, and you care about that being, treated with respect, you should care about this Rings of Power travesty. But yeah, anyway, so these are really nice copies that I have. These are collectible copies. I got them from the book depository, which sadly has closed. It was the best place to get Middle-earth stuff. They had rare stuff that you can't find anywhere else. And these are the two last things I ever purchased from them. It's funny because I'll show you my copy of the Silmarillion. You probably won't be able to see in the video, but it actually got printed upside down. So if I were to open it normally, the text is backward and upside down. So I have to read it backward. But I couldn't send it back, for one, because by that point the book depository had closed. But I also was like, you know what, I want to keep that. That's kind of a collectible that it got printed upside down and backward. It works fine. I just have to flip the book up and around. And anyway, if you want to actually know what's wrong with the Rings of Power and why us Tolkien fans get all huffy about what's wrong with it, or if you are a big Tolkien fan and want to know actually what he wrote, the more you know, the more backstory you know for any story, whether that's the Lord of the Rings or anything in medieval literature, any work of literature, the more you can learn about the backstory and the person and the context in which it was written, it's going to make things so much richer and deeper. So anyway, okay, enough about Lord of the Rings. Let's talk about Patreon. Let's kind of officially launch Patreon. It's live. You can find the link in the description below. And I only have one tier at this point. It's the $5, the Scribes tier. And I won't go again into all the perks. You can check those out, or you can watch my previous video. But one thing that's going on right now is the first 20 people who sign up for Patreon will get a bookmark and a sticker, both of which feature imaging from the branding that I did for Patreon and for the new rebrand of my channel. Which brings me to a second point. You probably have noticed that by now I've changed the name of my channel from Elfshine Cottage to The Wandering Medievalist. My Instagram is still the Elfshine Cottage logo, and so is my Etsy shop, because those are both distinctly art. But I wanted my channel to be something broader, something more of an umbrella to the artwork and then everything else that I do. And so I decided to change that name to The Wandering Medievalist, which is also what my Patreon is called, and that's what my website is called. But anyway, so that bookmark and sticker, they feature images from the branding, and I will send those to you for free. You won't even have to pay shipping. Those will just be a little thank you for signing up. I'm so excited about being able to launch this finally, and I hope that you enjoy it. I'm putting a lot of things that are near and dear to my heart on this, and I'm hoping to find some other kindred spirits who enjoy these kinds of things. And for any of you who do support me on Patreon, thank you. That means so much to me, and it helps me to be able to keep doing this and, grow my channel into something even bigger. I think I'll stop there. And yeah, again, for those of you who sign up for Patreon, thank you so much. And I hope that it is a source of inspiration to you, and just know that every little bit that you do to support my channel and support my work, it means a lot. So. Do you like that blankie? Are you mama's baby?